Hello and welcome to Subway NIBFA Today. I'm Barry Green. Today we'll be showing you some outstanding National League and NIBFA Cup highlights from the month of November. Plus we went along to watch Linfield's under-14 team in training and caught up with Jack Berry, October's NIBFA Player of the Month. We spoke to players and to parents, and we'll have that for you later in today's show. And we'll also be announcing the Player of the Month for November, so do stay tuned for that. Today we'll be joined by Paul Lehman, long-time captain and now coach at Glentoran. We'll be getting Paul's thoughts on our 4 featured games. First up, we go to Jordanstown for an under-14 National League fixture. It features Green Island boys and Portadown. Green Island went into the match on a great run of form. Lord James is on commentary.
Green Island went in Saturday's match with Portadown Youth as joint leaders with 5 wins from 6, while the Ports are just above the drop zone, having only won once this campaign. You join us at Jordanstown for the National League tie on a windy and overcast November morning. Portadown knocked the ball around fairly casually in the middle of the park early on before Jack Patterson fed Paddy Quinn, whose forward pass started a pulsing sequence for Green Island. A great cross from Jaden Withers from a tight angle offered up Joel Given an opportunity before Quinn smashed home the loose ball. Opening the score in Green Island 1, Portadown 0. In response, Johnny McCulloch and Zach Cowan collaborated to encourage an attack down the left-hand flank. But despite the build-up getting the better of Green Island's back line, McCulloch's shot was no trouble for Rhys McCune. Bobby Higgins' free kick just in front of our camera was goal-bound on 17 minutes, but again, Burns in nets for Portadown was well warned. A short throw for Portadown in their own half prompted some nice zigzag passing, yet while the Ports can certainly string some good sequences together, it's not long before Green Island show their edge. After dispossessing on 25 minutes, Paddy Quinn picked out Reese Black, who thundered this one home from just outside the box. Creating plenty in the centre of attack, Quinn found Withers again, but was caught offside before he could release his shot. And then he reacted with frustration as the flag went up, striking it hard out of play and earning himself a place in the referee's book. Burns' goal kick was kicked back and forth around midfield until it was bulleted back into Portadown's half by Connor Cunningham. And after a bit of huffing and puffing, Ben Andrews found the man up top in Withers. The target man wriggled to get a shot away, and his effort was well saved by the Port's keeper. Going into half-time, Green Island led Portadown Youth 2-0. Technical difficulties mean sadly we are unable to bring you Jack Patterson's fizzing shot, which he sent straight into the roof of the net for Green Island's 3rd. The Claret Shirts were comfortably in control of the game, but Portadown's backline deserve credit for their alertness and game management. Both Withers and Quinn dished out the danger here. Withers' shot was blocked by the keeper before Quinn had a go with a volley, eventually falling into the safe clutches of Burns. Portadown continued to try and keep the ball on the deck, but they were slow in possession as Patterson swept in to intervene before allowing Ben Christie to chip Burns. However, his goal was disallowed for offside. Chasing the game and starting to show signs of weariness, Portadown couldn't capitalise on possession up front, while Green Island continued to threaten down the wings. Reese Black swept in here for a clever ball from the right, and it was steered toward goal by Christie. Zach Cowan, Portadown's dead ball specialist, battled to force play back into Green Island's half, his long ball forward finding Shane Murphy on the right-hand side, but the centre forward's effort just whistled past the face of goal. Green Island won an indirect free kick here after some lapses in defensive concentration, but neither Bobby Higgins nor Joel Given had luck from the set piece. Given's slippery movements eventually won him a free kick. close to the touchline on the right-hand side, however, and produced the opportunity for what truly has to be a Goal of the Month contender. Just take a look at this Ronaldo-esque show from Bradley Maguire on 54 minutes, making it Green Island 5, Portadown 0. The leaders had yet further luck from set pieces when they were ordered a corner to be taken on the far side. Ryan Wolsey showing great composure to angle his header over Burns. It finished Green Island 6, Portadown Youth 0.
Well, I'm delighted to say I've been joined by Glentoran coach Paul Lehman. Paul, thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Now, the last time I spoke to you, Paul, you told me that you'd been roped into coaching at Dungoyne. A lot has changed since. You're now at Glentoran with Ronnie McFall and with Gary Smith. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, it's obviously the Glentoran job came about in the summertime. There was no secret the Glens were on the lookout for a new manager. It didn't happen. Ronnie McFall then, bravely stepped up to the plate, and the club decided to bring myself and Gary Smith in coaching roles. And this year is very much about learning the ropes as such this year, seeing what we need to do for the future. And so far it's been a great experience.
What about the Glens? Is it fair to say that they're in transition? You're sort of mid-table-ish?
Yeah, I mean, we probably should be a little bit higher up the table. We've been unlucky in a lot of games, but there's still a lot of hard work to do and a long way to go, and it is going to be a long-term project. People will, there's always that expectation with Glentoran because of the history and the success that the club has had before, but I think we need to realise that it's a long-term project. We need to start bringing some of the good young talent through that we have at the Oval and build it from there, and hopefully get a few more senior players around the young ones and try and build that platform for the future. But it's going to take time, but we're there for the project, and hopefully it'll all work out. And
obviously we're here to talk about youth football, so how important is youth development for Glentoran?
It's very important because it's no secret the club don't have the finances that they used to have. So it's important that we try to bring 2 or 3 young players through from the 18s, the 20s through to the first team, and there are a few good young players there at the minute who are just thereabouts in the first team. There's a lot of talent at the Oval, and it's finding that pathway for those players to come through, and hopefully then the individual players will have the right temperament, the right mentality, and obviously they've got the ability, but it's all about the attitude, the temperament, the mentality to see if they can make that step up to the first team.
Great, Paul. Well, turning to Green Island's emphatic 6-0 win in that game, the quality in that Green Island outfit is there for all to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and watching the highlights there, I picked out the young lad Paddy Quinn.
Yeah,
he was instrumental in so much of the good work. He scored a couple of the goals as well, and he looked a standout player. He seemed to have a good eye for a pass, good vision and good awareness, and he executed the passes really well. As I said, he managed to get on the score sheet as well, so standout player.
Yeah, I mean, you say that. One thing that I will kind of throw out there, and there's no right or wrong answer, but he's quite small at the minute. How do you see that?
Yeah, well, I'm in a good position to talk about that because I was very small for my age and around about youth football, and the coaches used to say to me, as long as you've got the right attitude and you've obviously got that technical ability, sooner or later that's going to even out the size, in terms of his size. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But you can see there in those highlights that the kids got a bit of class about him. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the camera didn't quite catch Jack Patterson's great strike. I was there. It was a superb hit. Rhys Black and Bradley Maguire gave the Ports keeper no chance with their goals. So certainly plenty of brilliant goals on display.
Yeah, there's some fantastic play from Green Island, who are a really good youth setup, and some fantastic goals. And again, it was Bradley Maguire's free kick as well stood out for me. Left the right hand side of the pitch on his left foot, and he's just whipped it into the top corner, giving the keeper no chance. So at youth football, to see goals like that, it's really good to see.
Brilliant. Thanks for the moment, Paul. Well, that was difficult on Portadown, but they'll probably not come up against a much better team this season. Now for our second game, we travelled to Inver Park. This time it was an under-16 NIBFA Cup fixture between Larne and Ards Rangers from the South Belfast League. The visitors went into the match very much as underdogs. Let's see which way this one went. Ards Rangers from the South Belfast League travelled to Larne in the opening round of this season's NIBFA Cup. The match played on Inver Park's 4G surface, with Ards in blue and white and Larne in their traditional red colours. The hosts were quickest out of the blocks, and after just 3 minutes they won a free kick in shooting territory, with Matthew Kerr fouled by Taylor Shaw. Cameron Smith stepped up to take responsibility, but blazed this effort well over the target. Larne were intent on playing expansive football, and this move, started by Rhys McAllister, brought about another shooting opportunity. However, Kerr pulled his shot wide of the Rangers' goal. The warning signs were there for visiting Ards. This 9th minute corner was only partially cleared, and when the ball came back into the box, it was Cameron Smith who made room for the cross. Matthew Kerr clipped in a shot goalwards, and it nestled in the bottom corner, 1-0 to Larne. The Inver outfit began to open up the Ards defence at will. This slick move and pass by Kerr to Jamie Connor resulted in a chance for Brooklyn Allen. His effort, though, was well charged down. Again, it was Larne who built from their backline. Smith received the ball just over the halfway line. Cian McRandall cushioned a header, but it ran kindly for Ards goalkeeper Alex Shaw. Again, Larne stayed patient throughout the opening half. Smith and Adam Cope playing a 1-2 in midfield. Cope then fed Kerr, who in turn teed up McRandall. This was in the 27th minute. This shot was wonderfully saved by Shaw. Larne scored just a minute later. Stirrett's ball was well kept in by the alert Connor on the far side of the pitch. Kerr then cleverly nipped past his man. Watch this for footwork before rifling the ball in off the post. At the other end of the pitch, Ryan Bailey won a free kick after this mazy run. Henry Welch, though, blazed his shot over the Larne bar. In the second half, Larne began where they left off. This lovely move from a throw-in resulted in their third goal. Dara Worry finding the bottom corner. Cody Maxwell with the assist. Larne remained intent on increasing that lead. Sterrett picked a pass to Rhys Hall, who didn't test Shaw this time around. The hard-working Sterrett played provider on 53 minutes for Larne. Good work down the right-hand side. He crossed for Harry Cook to make it 4-0 to the Invermen. Ards were to get a consolation before the match ended. Nye Baker won a free kick just over halfway. Baker took it, and when the ball made its way into the box, Calvin Irwin reacted quickest and rifled home into the roof of the net. But it's Larne who progressed in the NIBFA Cup. Larne 4, Ards Rangers 1.
Well, Paul, it was always going to be difficult for Ards Rangers, and that's exactly how it turned out.
Yeah, you can see that Larne were just a little class above Ards Rangers. Ards Rangers seemed to just sit in and they wanted to be hard to beat in that game, but they allowed Larne too much time on the ball, and you know they're dangerous players in, and Matthew Kerr was someone we picked out in the highlights. They were able to get on the ball and cause Ards Rangers all sorts of problems, and Matthew Kerr was just class in the game. His second goal stands out for me.
Yeah, what was so good about it?
I mean, the ball's outside the box and the defender comes to close him down. It's a little dink. You notice there's a little dink just over the defender's leg. He gets it out of his feet and the strike is just superb in off the post. Great awareness just to flick it over the defender, and then he had the composure with the strike, and that was really, really nice goal. Yeah, he looks one for the future. I was speaking to Gary Havrin actually at that game, and he told me he's a year young, so that's showing a lot of potential, isn't it? It is, and obviously he enjoys playing on the first team pitch there at Larne as well, but certainly Matthew Kerr, not only for that goal, but he also had a hand in a couple of the other goals and scored again himself, so certainly one for the future there. Great performance. Now, Calvin Irwin got a consolation for Ards late in that game. When the chance came about for them, he took it well. He did take it well. It was a long ball from the halfway line, and I think the Larne back four just switched off momentarily, and he's nipped in there in front of the centre half, and a really good finish into the top of the net. Well, that victory sees Larne progress to the NIBFA Cup second round, with Ards Rangers departing at the first hurdle. Now, just before our half-time team talk with Paul, here's a word from our sponsors, Subway. Well, now it's time for our half-time team talk with today's guest. Paul, you had a long and distinguished Irish League career. You've now moved into coaching. What's it like in terms of having to, I'd say, go to training as a player and then actually preparing for training as a coach? I think as a player, I'll always say, as a player it was easy. You pack your stuff, you get your boots, and you pick up your bag and you go and train, and you work hard. Obviously, when you're there at training, you try and enjoy it as much as you can. But as a coach, you've obviously got to prepare your session. You're working out how many players you're going to have. You're working out maybe what you need to work on from the previous game, and it's not just a matter of turning up. So as a coach, I think certainly for me, the game sort of consumes you at times. But it's still enjoyable because, when you're not able to play, coaching's the next best thing, and so it's nice to be involved again. You were a long-time captain at the Oval. Had you always envisaged then getting into the game and giving back, really, as a coach? Yes, I think so. I think, if I'm being honest, I think the Glentoran opportunities probably came about sooner than I would have expected. I'm completing my coaching badges. So I would always have thought that I'll get my coaching badges and then I'll go into senior coaching, because I'm still involved with Dungoyne and youth football. So to say I'm busy at the minute is an understatement. I've still got Dungoyne, I've still got Glentoran. It has came about a little bit sooner than expected, but I'm trying to manage as best I can. I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I can and take as much experiences from this season as I possibly can. You're still involved with youth team coaching. You've mentioned you're involved with the senior team at Glentoran. In terms of imparting the information to the player, do you see any difference between giving the information over to young lads and young girls as opposed to, learned older people? I think obviously with the youth team, I had them going from they were 5-6 years old, my little team. So you're teaching them all the fundamentals, all the basics of football. When you get the senior coaching, you expect that these guys will know all these things, so it is different, but it is enjoyable, both sides of it, and I still enjoy coaching the kids, and as I say, I'm learning the best ways to manage with senior players as well, so it's been a good learning curve. I imagine that is a bit of a learning curve, as you say. It is, because as I say, older players can be frustrating because you expect them to know a lot of the fundamentals, but they still make mistakes, so there's always something to work on. For young players then watching this and trying to make their way in the game, what advice would you have for them? I think the advice that I would always give is, you have to enjoy your football. I always enjoyed it. There was nothing else that I wanted to do, was to only play football. But I think when you get to training, you've got to listen to your coaches. You've got to work hard, and certainly work hard on your weaknesses in your game. Always show the right attitude, work hard, and I always believe if you work hard and you've got the right attitude, you'll do well in the game. That's good to pass on. Now, finally, Paul, have you got a pet hate in football, something you don't like to see necessarily? In youth football? Yeah. As a youth football coach, I think I would have to say parents coaching from the sideline. I think I've said that before. As a coach, you're working with your team all week on how you want them to play. You're giving them their instructions as they go out on a Saturday, and when you see young kids looking over at their parents, taking instruction from them after me giving them what I want them to do, that's a big pet hate for me. So for me, the parents should just go and encourage and support and clap the kids as much as they can, but leave the coaching to the coaches.
Great advice, not only for the parents but for the players. Thanks for now, Paul. Recently we took our cameras to Midgley Park in Belfast to watch Linfield's under-14s in training. They were under the lights on the 3G surface. We caught up with some of the players and parents on the night. Let's take a look.
Sometimes one you're not sure where he's concentrating more on his football. He's one of them ones we really like something, he puts every bit of effort into it, what he sees in his football and certain subjects. Other ones he's not too fussed on, don't really puts any effort in. But he does know if he doesn't do well in school, he doesn't go to football. You know what I mean? School has to come first. And to be fair, even with training, if he had exams last week, was he done well in? But Scott that says they understood he wasn't going to be at training during the week, so we'll give him time to study. So, I mean, school always has to come first, and he'll take it himself. But he's competitive whatever he does.
Yeah, well generally it's not too bad getting my schoolwork done, but the only time I would find it hard is if I've got exams, if there's a lot of revising to do. But normally I'm able to do it all, but it's just getting it all fitted in and having still a bit of time to enjoy yourself.
Well, I'd like to thank Scott Boyd and Pete Houston and the players from Linfield for making us so welcome at Midgley. Thanks for having us and good luck for the remainder of the campaign. Now it's time for our final two matches. First up, it's another NIBFA Cup game. This time in round 3, the under-14s of Cliftonville and Green Island at the Dub. Johnny Martin, watch this one.
Cliftonville and Green Island under-14s kicked off at the Dub in Belfast in the third round of the NIBFA Cup. Cliftonville getting us underway in the all-red and Green Island in the white and black. In a tight and even opening 5 minutes, it was Green Island that were awarded the first dangerous free kick down the right wing. From that set piece, this looping delivery just went wide of the left post. It was the North Belfast side that opened the scoring in the 6th minute after a lovely flowing move involving Chris Cope, Michael Morgan and Podrick McVicker, which resulted in a close range finish for Josh Ness to open the scoring and put the Reds ahead.
Yeah! Come on!
In a frantic first half, Green Island only took 5 minutes to respond. Joel Thompson winning the ball on the halfway line before making a clever pass forward, which ended up with the prolific Jaden Withers, who fired hard and low into the bottom left corner. 1-1. The chances continued to flow at the Dub, and the next fell to Brodie McKee for Cliftonville, who showed fantastic work down the right wing, but he could only fire straight at Rhys McComb in the Green Island goal. Cliftonville front players were playing some fantastic football on the edge of the box, and they regained the lead when Chris Cope teed up Michael Morgan inside the area, who fired into the right corner to make it 2-1 to the Reds, much to the delight of his coaches. Green Island then responded with immediate effect when captain Jack Patterson won the ball in midfield, powered forward to find Jaden Withers, who scored his second of the day to make the scoreline 2 each with 24 minutes played. As half-time approached, Green Island looked to score the next goal and take the lead, and it was that man again, Jaden Withers, but his effort from the edge of the box found Matthew Williamson in the Cliftonville goal, who made an easy save. The goals kept flowing, and once again Cliftonville took the lead when Brodie McKee nodded home from close range to make the scoreline 3-2 on the stroke of 30 minutes. Into the second half, and it was Cliftonville's half in truth. They started it well, and Brodie McKee kept his composure inside the area to extend Cliftonville's lead with this pinpoint finish. The Reds were on top and looked good to score more goals. Chris Cope's through ball found Michael Morgan, however the whistle sounded for an offside and the goal didn't count. Cliftonville scored their 5th goal when Chris Cope's corner from the left wing flew straight in at the near post to put a 3-goal margin between the sides. In the second half, Green Island were limited to very few chances. Joel Given was found on the halfway line, and Jack Patterson's free kick proved a simple save for Matthew Williamson in the Cliftonville goal. Cliftonville weren't finished their goal-scoring exploits, and Brodie McKee showed his class and composure when going one-on-one and finished well to see a 6-2 victory for Cliftonville.
So Paul, a 6-2 scoreline and a difficult pill to swallow for Green Island in that one, who had competed with their opponents Cliftonville in the opening half.
Yeah, first half it was obviously 2-2 at half time, and Green Island were very much in the game, and there was some fantastic play from both teams and some great goals scored by both teams. Lovely build-up play and you know, in the link up to all the goals, and a very close, evenly contested game in the first half.
And you picked out a certain Cliftonville player, didn't you, as being the star man? Yeah,
it was Brodie McKee. He seemed to be heavily involved. He scored 3 goals in the game. Big, strong, physical striker, and you know he scored a couple of nice goals there. And the standout goal for me in the game wasn't actually Brodie McKee. It was the Morgan goal. It was a lovely ball from the defender up to the striker, who linked up well with the midfield runner, and it was a great finish again. So some nice play in there.
Yeah, as a youth team coach, you must be actually looking on, interested there to see obviously what's being imparted to those teams. And if you're a manager on the outside looking into that, the first 4 goals in particular, they were sweet in terms of the interplay, weren't they?
Yeah, some really nice play, very similar goals. You know, the ball being worked really well from the back in the midfield and into the strikers, and then some lovely composed finishes. And as a coach, that would be really rewarding for the coaches, because that's what you're working on. You're trying to get the kids to play that type of football. So to see the team scoring goals in that manner, it would be really pleasing for the coaches.
Thanks, Paul. So it's the Reds who progress in the Cup following that superb 6-2 win. Our final game took place at the Dub. Another cracker it was, and it featured St Oliver Plunkett and Portadown in the Under-16 National League. We were treated to 6 goals in total. Lord James is on commentary.
Portadown Youth met with St Oliver Plunkett in the Under-16 National League this week on a cool and crisp Saturday morning at the Dub. Plunkett went into this match top of the division, while Portadown were mid-table. Plunkett in black and white and shooting toward the left of your screen, Portadown in red. Just 4 minutes in, Connor Sullivan embarked on a lung-busting run and nearly pulled this fantastic solo effort off, but Portadown keeper Jack Johnston was well warned. From a throw-in from the near side, Plunkett threatened again, Tony McLean latching on to run a lay-off to Liam Carr, but the captain's shot was saved by the Portadown keeper, and Aaron Boyd's foul curtailed his attempt to capitalise on the momentum. Portadown battled to get themselves back into the game, Marty Creighton and Mickey Wood doing well to hold the ball up against Josh Quinn and Connor Hand, but Creighton's eventual shot on 19 minutes was saved by Josh Hannah in nets for Plunkett. A minute later, the Port surged forward again, Adam Irwin charging up the flank to meet this ball rolled nicely into his path and refusing to be faced by Connor Hand, releasing a powerful shot just parried by Hannah. Wise to Portadown's strength going forward, and particularly on the counter-attack, Plunkett flexed their muscle, forcing the ball to stay low and under their control before Aaron Boyd's fantastic strike to beat Johnston seemed to happen in the blink of an eye. Plunkett going 1-up on 23 minutes. With a bit firmly between their teeth, Plunkett showcased their excellent ability to attack from the back. This movement started from their back line before lone man Liam Carr picked up the pace just ahead of the D, racing into the box, seemingly immune to Portadown's attempts to waylay him, before slotting into the bottom right corner. Portadown 0, Plunkett 2. After half-time, Plunkett continued to pursue a greater advantage. This long ball comfortably contained before finding Carr, but the skipper scuffed his shot. Portadown's goal kick was met by Plunkett in midfield before both teams attempted to start grappling for possession. It took for Conal Duffy to weave in eventually between the leggy exchanges, showing great awareness for where the capable Carr was in weight, who stayed strong enough for his brace, making it Portadown 0, Plunkett 3. Calls of one more from the touchline were to remind Plunkett that they had not only the scoreline but also time on their hands, a cushion indeed, to treat us to some of more of their nice passing and effortless runs. Tony McLean worked this ball from the near side back into contention, but neither Carr nor Boyd were able to get the better of Johnson on this occasion. Portadown's chink of light came on 43 minutes, pulling one back from a corner. A Plunkett defender may have got the final touch, but we think Jamie Gibson was definitely claiming this one. Portadown 1, Plunkett 3. Conceding wasn't part of the plan for league leaders Plunkett, so it was no surprise to see them launch back into action quickly. Brendan Harbinson and Ethan Johnson collaborating to find Carr, but on this occasion Portadown were wise to the super striker, while Johnston expertly saved Aaron Boyd's shot. A difficult angle and from distance, but that wasn't enough to distract Boyd from this free kick, which he curled magnificently into the far top corner. Portadown 1, Plunkett 4. His teammates then thought they'd chip in to help Boyd in pursuit of his hat-trick. Tony McLean first striving to put Portadown off their rhythm before Carr picked up on the near side. McLean and Harbinson had all their bases covered close to the corner flag, and Harbinson delivered this beautiful ball into the box, finally driven powerfully into the back of the net by Boyd. Portadown 1, Plunkett 5. A shirt pull on Josh Quinn resulted in a prime free kick for hat-trick hero Boyd to have a go at, but Johnston leapt to tip this one on to the bar. It finished full-time Portadown 1, Plunkett 5.
Well, Paul, I was at that game and it was Plunkett who deserved the victory, but they're absolutely brilliant on the day. They appear to have got some squad together.
Yeah, they were very impressive watching the highlights. Some 3 or 4 real standout performances, but just seemed to play really good football within the team, and they know how they want to play. They competed well, and they were just too much for Portadown on the day.
Liam Carr had a great game, but it was Aaron Boyd who was the standout with 3 goals. His opener and free kick in particular, they were absolutely excellent, weren't they? Yeah,
I mean, his opening goal, it's a lovely ball forward, I think, from the left back. He takes a great first touch, gets it out of his feet, and it's a fantastic strike. But the free kick is something a little bit special. You know, he takes a couple of steps up to it, very little back lift, Superb technique and the strike right into the top corner. And even later on in the game, he had another effort from a very similar position and came very close. So he's obviously a dead ball expert as well. But good performance.
Yeah, I mean, Plunkett for me, I attend quite a few youth team games as you do yourself, but it was one of those games that I stood back and was totally refreshed by how they played the game, the 1-2s, the triangles they were making. And, you know, there's something about that, going and seeing that in the youth game, isn't there?
There is, and as we said, you know, Aaron Boyd was a standout player, and Liam Carr as well led the line very well. But in general, their all-round play was really good to watch. Portadown just couldn't get close to them, and as we spoke about it earlier, it must be very pleasing for those coaches to see them, you know, put into practice what they're obviously working on very hard in training.
Thanks, Paul. Well, that win means Plunkett sit at the top of the under-16 table. Now, this season we have a Player of the Month award named on each and every show. This month, from a short list of 3, the panel chose Plunkett's Aaron Boyd as the Subway NIBFA Player of the Month for November. As we've just seen, Plunkett and Aaron have been in terrific form to date this season, so no surprises there. An NIBFA representative will be in touch shortly to present you with your award. So well done again to Aaron and Plunkett. Well, that's it from us for this month's show. Thanks, Paul, for joining us today on Subway NIBFA today. I hope you enjoyed your time here.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Thanks also to you for tuning in. We'll see you again in the new year with another studio guest poised to add their footballing know-how. Please do share our programme on social media and help us spread the success of youth football here in Northern Ireland. And finally, you can drop us a message on Facebook or Twitter via the NIBFA or Exporte pages. Join us again next month. See you then.